And those people constantly ringing their bells outside of shopping centers.
Oh, get a job already. Oh, hello. Join us for a discussion of Week 14 in the NFL. Seattle going into Philadelphia and suffocating the symbol of our nation's freedom. Downright un-American.
There's a good reason they don't call Mr. Hoyer Brian Football. He's not very good.
This is the Sporting Gentleman. I am the Sporting Gentleman, Matt Ufford, joined by my esteemed guest, Nick Stevens. Hello, sir.
Pleasure to be here, friend.
Now, Week 14 of the NFL, a bit of the pro football's thunder stolen by college football as the 4 teams for the college football playoff were announced. We also made a difficult decision with 4 faces for Mount Rushmore of Week 14.
And dare I say, our selection committee is a bit more handsome and well-heeled.
Yes, a bit more streamlined. The first face on our beautiful national monument of Week 14 in the NFL is the mustachioed wonder Jeff Fisher. Not someone I admire on a week-to-week basis because the Rams are but trotting out the 6 players that he got in exchange for Robert Griffin III for the initial coin toss against the Redskins in Washington. That is trollerific.
Might I call that a ceremonial teabagging at midfield?
And then to shut the Washington football team out at home, brutalizing Colt McCoy. Robert Griffin III didn't even start the game, didn't even play.
I thought we were done massacring the natives in this country. Come on now, St. Louis. Do you know their leading rusher yesterday in Washington? Colt McCoy. 2 rushes, 11 yards.
That's not ideal.
The second person joining us this week on Mount Rushmore
Yes, sir.
would be none other than Le'Veon Bell, running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 185 yards rushing, 50 yards receiving against what was supposed to be a pretty stout Cincinnati Bengals defense.
Bengals defense evaporated like so many whiskey fumes left in a bottle.
Somebody might want to take the Cincinnati defense to the psychiatric ward because they have a personality disorder.
Le'Veon Bell, 200 yards from scrimmage for 3 consecutive games. The only other person to do that, someone named Walter Payton.
Pretty good football player.
I do believe so.
Esteemed company.
Speaking of good football players, how about the third face on our monument, Russell Wilson?
Dangerous.
250 plus yards passing, 2 touchdowns through the air, 1 touchdown on the ground, and really gave life to a Seahawks offense. The Eagles sold out to stop the run. They didn't really do that, but Russell Wilson got it done through the air, connecting on 2 beautiful touchdown passes. One a misdirect to Marshawn Lynch, the second one lofted perfectly to Doug Baldwin.
And he is so fleet of foot, too. He should just have one of those tiny gold helmets, little wings on his feet. He moves around majestically.
The only thing that I regret about putting Russell Wilson on this monument is that it neglects to point out the amazing Seahawks defense, shutting down a Chip Kelly offense, 139 yards of total offense, the worst performance of Chip Kelly's entire career coaching.
Perhaps a second crack was left in the Liberty Bell.
Oh, my goodness.
Sorry, Philadelphia.
Finish
and
off.
the last person that joins us this week on the Mount Rushmore would be Darrelle Revis.
Oh, Mr. Island himself.
Oh, yes. Why not book 2 tickets to the worst paradise possible, Keenan Allen? Shutting it down, just shutting it down in San Diego. Keenan Allen was left with nothing but 2 catches for 3 yards. A stalwart performance by the New England Patriots defense to lead the Patriots to victory against San Diego.
In a, well, I would say welcoming away environment, but in a game where a lot of things went wrong for the Patriots, and for the defense to step up and get it done, not leave it all in Mr. Brady's hands, very impressive done. Yes. Impressively done.
You can't spell Darrelle Revis without revise, which is what a lot of game plans are having done after they realize they're going to be on the island all night long.
Yeah, I don't think that's how spelling works.
Well, they taught us differently in New England.
All right, well, we also can't have the good without the bad, and with that, ooh, the gong means it's time for our Halfwits of the week. Alexander, what do you have for us under the... still no envelopes. What are we, paupers? God, I swear.
I admire you giving work to your dead half-brother stepson.
I owed him one. Who is your Halfwit of the week, sir?
Ah, there he is. The enemy of Cleveland. And of course, normally that would be unemployment, wind, or Cleveland, but this week it's Mike Pettin.
Oh, what a disaster.
Oh, have the brass footballs to make the call and put in the man that puts the fans in the stands. Johnny Football. The last 3 weeks, Brian Hoyer, a touchdown, 8 interceptions, another ghastly performance Sunday in a very winnable and needed game for Cleveland.
Sticking with the man who's not getting it done and also reducing Josh Gordon's reps. No, it makes no sense.
No, the 3 touchdowns put up by Cleveland, 2 were brought about by the defense, and the other one was run in by a boy named Isaiah.
Yeah, Isaiah.
Well, Isaiah this. You suck, Mike Pettin.
My halfwit of the week is none other than Colin Kaepernick, which is really a bad performance in a terrible loss in Oakland, gifting the Raiders a win. But really, it's kind of a cumulative performance. Kaepernick's been pretty terrible for several weeks now. Performance on Sunday, 2 interceptions, his first and last pass of the game, 3 delay of game penalties, 5 sacks, and 1 cameraman shoved in the tunnel on the way to halftime.
And after the press conference he gave this week, being so terse, and that awful performance on Thanksgiving against Seattle.
Delightfully awful.
But when they needed the game, went into Oakland and lost. I mean, that's like losing an archery contest to a child.
That's like losing a fencing contest to a post.
Mr. Kaepernick, please.
We close with a bit of advice. Broncos linebacker Von Miller getting a little bit of the laughter directed at him for this fine plush fur hat he wore in the locker room after the Broncos win. Well, I say, wear all the fur you want, Von Miller. Nothing feels quite so sumptuous and refined as wearing the skin and fur of the animal that you've killed yourself. Take it from me, a man who goes skiing on elephant tusks. Of the elephants, I killed myself with the largest gun I could possibly handle, by which I mean a 105mm howitzer. Those elephants had it coming.
But didn't they all?
The world's going down in flames. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week on The Sporting Gentleman.
Alexander, foie gras, on tureen, stat!